So today we're speedrunning through Motherload, another very nostalgic Flash game. Now we'll start the speedrun as soon as we hit new game. Right away we're gonna get dropped off onto Mars, and our boss, Mr. Natus, tells us that we need to dig and make him some money. So we're just pretty much gonna dig down, and our goal for this speedrun is always have a very straight line. Because if we have a straight line, then we won't have to do any extra digging, and we won't waste more fuel than necessary, because every once in a while we will have to go back up here so we can fill our fuel tank. Now our first step is going to be trying to get $500, which we can do by getting all these minerals that you can see around the map. Obviously there's the regular dirt, and then there's things like copper, which is going to be the orange material. And then also we want to make it down to 500 feet because we will get a bonus of $1,000. That's going to set us up really well, and usually this is going to take us about 3 of these journeys down. So we're just trying to go as fast as possible, make sure we get all the materials that we will need, and not wasting any extra time. I'm gonna go fly down here. We also see some extra gold, which is going to be worth $250. So with that, we know we're gonna be good. And all we have to do is make it down to 500 feet, get our $1,000 extra, and make our way back up. Of course, we can go right over here. We're gonna sell our extra stuff. And now it's time to get upgrades. First of all, we're gonna upgrade our drill, and then also our fuel tank, so we're able to do more. And yeah, they're pretty obvious upgrades. The drill is going to make it so that we can drill faster, and the fuel tank will make it so that we can drill longer. And that's going to be important because it is now time to try to make it down to 1,000 feet. And the reasoning behind that is we're looking for a specific artifact. So artifacts in this game are very overpowered and are a really good way of making money early. And this is also where the RNG element of the game comes in, because about every 9 out of 10 runs are going to die right here. We need to get lucky, find the artifact we need, which we actually saw right there, but we can't pick it up just yet because we will have to go back up, get some more fuel. But that's a very good thing because that means we can continue the run. And yeah, like I said, 9 out of 10 runs die here, which is kind of terrible. But luckily we found the artifact really early, and as you will see, that gives us $50,000. And then along with making it down to 1,000 feet, we also get an extra 3,000, which is kind of like nothing at this point. And you are not supposed to have this much money this early on, so we're going to be able to buy a lot of good things. First of all, we're going to buy a new drill, and that's going to be very fast. We'll buy a hole, which is our health, and another better fuel tank. Then we'll go over to this part and we'll get some reserve fuel tanks, a quantum teleporter, and 11 dynamite. Now you'll see why we use each of those things as we go on, but our purpose is now going to be making it down to 4,000 feet because we want to limit going up as much as possible, and the deeper you go, the better minerals you'll get. So we're just hoping we can make it down pretty deep. And we also find another religious artifact right there, which was really lucky because that's another $50,000. And for this dive, we're looking for a total of $100,000. So like I said, we just want to make it as deep as possible, hopefully find some of those really good minerals, and yeah, it's just kind of a digging simulator. And also we found another religious artifact, which is kind of insane luck. That means we got all the money that we need, and all we have to do is dig some more. Like I said, we're still going to try to make it to 4,000 because that's going to set us up really well for later on in the run, but we have the money we need, and as soon as we get our extra bonus from digging down so much, we'll be doing really well. Also, our signal is not very good down here, so people are going to try to contact us, but we don't really care what they have to say. And also I found a third religious artifact, which is actually insane. So this run was really lucky. But one thing you saw a little earlier was I used my dynamite, and I used that on a rock. Rocks you're not usually able to drill through, and since we want a nice hole that just goes straight down, we need to make sure we get rid of those rocks with that dynamite. I can also use my reserve fuel tank right there, and we went from empty fuel to all the way full, which is going to be really helpful in trying to get down to 4,000 feet, so you can see why we bought the upgrades we did. And at this point, I'll be honest, I have all the money that I need. I just kind of have to dig. This is also another part where RNG comes into play, because sometimes there will be holes where you don't have to dig as much, sometimes there will be more rocks, sometimes there will be less, and we're just hoping we get a very straight line and we don't have to do too much extra stuff. Also, one thing that is important is we can only carry up to 7 minerals at the same time. Usually this would be pretty important because we'd be focusing on getting the better minerals, but since we already got so much money off of religious artifacts, we just don't really have to worry about it right now, but it will come into play later, so I just thought I'd mention it. Oh, by the way, at 3,500, Mr. Natus comes back and he gives us another bonus. That's kind of important, but we already have way too much money. We're not really worried about that. But at this point, I just got to do some straight digging down, so I'll see you when we're done with it. Now, right around here, we're about at 4,000 feet. We're not quite there, but it doesn't matter too much. So I'm going to use the quantum teleporter so we make it back to the start. I accidentally went in that shop. We don't need anything from there, but we're going to get some more reserve fuel tanks, and I'm going to get a little extra more than I need. We're going to get another quantum teleporter, some dynamite, and then finally a bunch of C4s, because those are going to be very important as we go down, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Oh yeah, one thing that I probably should mention is every time you go in one of those buildings, there's a chance for an earthquake. I think I read it's about a 1 in 20 chance, so not the worst, but I've actually lost so many runs to that. So every time I go into one of those buildings, my heart just beats and I'm like, please do not end my run. Yeah, this game can break a man. But anyway, we're back over here, and now we're looking for some different stuff. This time we want to make it to about 6,000 feet down, and we're mainly just going to be looking for diamond, which is worth $100,000, and Amazonite, which is worth $500,000. You'll also notice that my drill isn't very good here. Of course, drills get worse the deeper you go. That's just kind of normal stuff, but that's not going to stop our goal, which is go down as far as possible, as fast as possible. Also, right there, we saw another religious artifact, but this time it doesn't really matter. The Amazonite is worth so much more than that, so we just don't really have to care about it. Also, I know I'm probably pronouncing that so wrong, and so many people in the comments are going to be mad at me. I'm sorry. But now, once we make it to 4,800 feet, this is when things start getting a little risky. If we dig in any regular patch of dirt, there's a chance that we just kind of die. I don't really know why the game is made that way, but to make sure that doesn't happen, we're only going to dig when there are minerals and then use our C4s to go through the rest of the area. So you can see I'm kind of just carving out a path for myself with my C4s and just trying to make sure that everything doesn't go wrong. And also, since we are going to be coming down this path one more time, we need to make sure that everything is good and there will be a clear path down for later. And luckily I had some extra money, so I had a ton of C4s and we don't really have to worry about saving those too much. At this point, all that's important is finding that Amazonite and making it as deep as possible. And speaking of that, that's what it is. We get this nice sparkling rocks thing, and like I said, that is worth $500,000, and we find another one directly below it. That's actually insane luck, so we're really happy with how this is going. Now, for Motherload speedruns, you can choose a couple of different strategies. We can either play it safe and get $1.6 million, play it fairly safe and get $1.2 million, or play it not safe at all and only get $800,000. Now, I'm going to be playing it safe because it's not going to lose me too much time, because we have to go down anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Preferably, in my mind, I want to find at least one more Amazonite just to make sure we have all the money, and there we go. That's just what we needed. Also, right there, I kind of just dug into some random dirt, so that could have gone very poorly, but we can use our quantum teleporter, come right back out, and we're going to the mineral processing. And yeah, we have tons of money now. So we're gonna buy the best hull and the best radiator because we're gonna need to use those for the final boss fight. Then we're gonna get some repair nanobots to repair our stuff and some more C4s, and we're just getting as many as possible. In this run, I got a ton of extra money, so we're kind of able to get much more than we need. And at this point, I'm just praying that when I exit this shop, I'm not going to get an earthquake, because that would be heartbreaking. And yeah, it's happened to me before. But anyways, it's now time for the final little descent down, I guess. And at this point, my heart is beating because I really don't want to lose this run. In total, it's not an exaggeration to say that I spent about 10 hours playing this game over and over again, getting bad RNG. There are so many places where the RNG can kill you, and then if you make tiny mistakes, that's also going to kill your run as well. So I was actually terrified. Like, I have spent so much of my life into this game, which is also why I'm going to ask, if you've been enjoying the video and like the content on this channel or the speedruns I do, please consider subscribing. I do some crazy stuff for the content. Oh yeah, by the way, Mr. Natus, he's like, oh, you should turn back. I really don't want you to come down here. And just wait, because you're in for the plot twist of the century. Now, you see, if you spell Mr. Natus's name backwards, it's Satan. Yeah, we're fighting against Satan now. So we're going to use all the C4s that we had from earlier and our repair nanobots to make sure we can kill this dude. If we can use a C4 right on his body, it's going to do a ton of damage. So we're going to just want to keep repeatedly using those. And yeah, that's pretty much this entire fight. So we just need to use one more C4 and we get through his first phase, but he also has a second one. And now he turns into like a robot Satan. I don't really know. He looks insane, but we're pretty much just using the exact same strategy. But slowly but surely, we just keep using our C4s and we can finish him off right there. So now we just wait a tiny bit and we call time as soon as his health bar disappears. And there we go, 1827. And if we look on speedrun.com, we'll see that puts us at 11th place. I'm never doing this again.